The aquatic update introduced to us a very formidable weapon, the Trident, and with the diamond sword wearing the crown for all these years, the new kid on the block has shaken things up a bit, making the classic diamond sword potentially a little jealous of its once firmly held title. So, in this video, we're going to closely and directly compare these two weapons against each other with as many well-related aspects as possible. I must disclaim that I personally do not favour any of these weapons at all, as I love both of these weapons very much. And to avoid making this video 30 minutes long, I'm obviously going to leave out mentioning every single benefit each weapon may have, and focus on the more major pros and cons of each weapon. With that being said, let's approach this together with an open mind and just have a bit of fun with it. So without any further ado, let the showdown begin. Damage. Seems a simple enough question, but is it really? One thing's for sure for a weapon in Minecraft, damage is quite a big deal. Across all editions of Minecraft, the Trident boasts a very solid 4.5 hearts of base damage when using it in melee. The Diamond Sword deals 3.5 hearts of base damage on Java Edition and 4 hearts on console and Bedrock. So we can already see the Trident stands a little taller with straight up melee strength. But if we look a little closer, we notice each of the two weapons have different attacking speeds. Does this make a significant impact? Well, let's have a look. The Trident holds an attack speed of 1.1, swinging at a fair rate faster than an axe does. But if we glance over to the Diamond Sword, we can see she is swinging far more frequently with an attack speed of 1.6. Now, a perfectly simulated projection of the damage each of these weapons can put out every second, if they of course didn't miss the target, and without any other interferences, we'd see that the Trident can dish out a total of 9.9 damage every second, while the Diamond Sword can deal a total of 11.2 damage every second. So in a situation when you're engaging in a battle at least a few seconds long, already the Diamond Sword proves to have the edge, as the longer of the window of back-to-back melee striking is open for, more damage will be coming from the Diamond Sword than the Trident. But that's just a simple mathematical projection, one that doesn't consider other various factors such as distance, something Diamond Swords don't specialize in, something Tridents are capable of. The base damage of a throw coming from a Trident will deal 4 hearts of damage on all Minecraft editions. Quite strong for a ranged hit, only just weaker by half a heart compared to a fully charged arrow fired from a bow. The ability to throw a weapon is a luxury the Diamond Sword obviously doesn't have. Granted, the throw doesn't miss. However, a Trident can only be thrown once before you'll have to go and collect it, leaving the player barehanded and vulnerable unless the Trident is enchanted with loyalty. This will return the Trident to the thrower, despite hitting or missing the target. That right there gives the Trident plenty of bragging rights, especially due to such a short charge up time for each throw. And due to this, there is little comparison between the two weapons when it comes to dealing with enemies that pose a threat at a distance, something a Trident can handle with ease before needing to face them up close. The Trident has a vivid upper hand in this aspect. Additionally, the Trident loses no momentum when thrown underwater, which only goes in the Trident's favor when comparatively used in underwater combat. But the Trident's general effectiveness is kinda brought to an abrupt halt right there, and starts to dive into the field of specialized perks. Let's take a look at the Trident's other enchantments. First off, we can see both weapons share mending and unbreaking enchantments, no big deals or surprises there. But looking at impaling, channeling, and riptide, these are all enchantments that require specific situations, and enchantments are a huge factor for what defines a weapon. Impaling, dealing bonus damage to aquatic mobs as well as other players. So for survival mode, an impaling enchantment is obviously better worth using in the ocean, but the impaling damage bonus is very welcomed for PvP, not to mention works with both melee and ranged attacks, some nice flexibility there. Then we have channeling. Entities hit by thrown tridents with channeling receive a lightning strike to the face, dealing a bonus 2.5 hearts of damage, which is not bad, but counteracts comboing with impaling, as channeling can't work underwater. This only works in unsheltered, rainy or stormy weather, so this is quite circumstantial, but it sure looks hella cool. Now let's look at Riptide. A trident with Riptide cannot be thrown, but if underwater or directly exposed to rain, it will rapidly propel the wielder forward, dealing melee damage on contact, which will cancel the maneuver, and still able to take damage on contact. So in other words, the trident becomes a melee-only weapon, therefore losing the ranged bragging rights it had over the diamond sword, and meets it face to face in the diamond sword's own game, melee. So, even despite the max potential circumstantial damage of a Trident with a Riptide and Impaling 5 combo, the Trident still falls short to competing with a Diamond Sword's max potential circumstantial damage, one that's also got a couple of its own damage enchantments, Sharpness 5 and Fire Aspect 2. This projection takes into account both weapons' attack speeds, target's health, and ignoring the sword's sweeping strike passive ability, as it's only on Java Edition. However, this sweeping strike does work tremendously well in the Diamond Sword's favour in conjunction with its fast attack speed on Java Edition, making it such an effective melee weapon for cleaving down mobs simultaneously. To sum that all up, a Trident specialized for melee doesn't quite outperform a Diamond Sword in melee damage, even in favorable circumstances for the Trident, regardless of the Trident's enchantments. A nice little but expected win there for the Diamond Sword. But that's not to go without mentioning Riptide is not necessarily all about its damage output as a melee weapon. It's just as much about its maneuverability, which is outstandingly good, oh my gosh. Whether you're dodging attacks, escaping a dangerous situation, conquering obstacles with ease, Riptide does demand quite some credit here over the Diamond Sword. And with Elytra equipped, again another circumstantial perk for Riptide Tridents, it shows off as the game's fastest method of world travel. That is some perk. To compete as far as a Diamond Sword's recreational perks go, it can receive the Looting enchantment for bonus item drops. Knockback also is extremely beneficial in combat, keeping enemies at a safe distance between strikes. This would have worked super well for Tridents considering how proficient they are at ranged. But chasing down ranged mobs like skeletons, which are so common, with knockback only puts them back in their optimal position. Between Riptide, knockback, and looting, this really does come down to personal preference. All are really handy to have, but Riptide has definitely got the fun factor, but comes at the cost of requiring rain or being underwater, again situational, but looting is great for use anywhere, anytime. Knockback and looting can be stacked on a single Diamond Sword, so both weapons taking some big gains here. The Diamond Sword also mirrors their own set of 3 mutually exclusive enchants, Sharpness, Smite, and Bane of Arthropods. Bane of Arthropods is no doubt very specialized and only works on the very few arthropod mobs currently in game, 2 of which are barely stumbled upon. The Trident's equivalent enchantment Impaling, which has the same damage stat increase as Bane of Arthropods, boasts a couple more mobs that it's effective on. A clear little win there for the Trident. Although, Impaling doesn't affect Drowned, as they're classed as undead, not aquatic, which the Diamond Sword's Smite enchantment specializes in, making it actually quite good for underwater use, since Drowned are the only common threat underwater. Not good here for the Trident. Smite of course works well on land too, affecting a solid range of mobs, Smite doing quite well here for the Diamond Sword. But the third exclusive option for the Diamond Sword being Sharpness, which is a nice blanket damage bonus to pretty much everything the Diamond Sword can get its edge on. This complements the nature of diamond swords towards their all-round general effectiveness, and easily stands as one of the most valued and taken diamond sword enchantments. So as we max out these weapons with their optimal enchantment combos, we find a primed diamond sword proves the more practical option for all-round general use, while specific primed tridents can give a very fixated, direct bonus given the right situation. Many could argue one of these weapons is harder to obtain than the other, but both do indeed require time and effort to get a hold of. But the diamond sword confidently flexes the higher durability, making it possibly a more appealing, long-term weapon of choice. So now we've dissected, critiqued, and compared the characteristics of the Trident and the diamond sword. In summary, we have the Trident, which definitely leans towards a more situational weapon, but shows significant prowess in ranged combat, given the right enchantments. It's fantastic for use in the ocean and in rainy, stormy weather, but its two most impactful enchantments, Riptide and Loyalty, can only come separated, making this weapon deadly and/or useful in the right situation. The diamond sword offers its general versatility as its biggest advantage, almost rivaling its solid, reliable, consistent melee damage, and also offering a couple niche quirks that are commonly worthwhile. Few players would turn down adventuring without the trusty diamond sword. In conclusion, all of us who step foot in the world of Minecraft, whether it be PvP or survival, we all have our own style. Some of us prefer the flexibility of the diamond sword, and some of us may prefer the prowess of the imposing but unique Trident. And of course, this video was not about which of these weapons is our favourite. However, on a recent poll I made over on my community page, from the thousands of votes collected, it's apparent that still, after all these years, the classic old school diamond sword still upholds a respected place in Minecraft. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts. What weapon do you prefer using and why? Remember, there's no right or wrong, and everyone's entitled to their own playstyle and opinion respectfully. As if everyone shared the same style, things would become stale and these two popular rival weapons wouldn't be so commonly compared as they are, and this video wouldn't exist. So the only real winners are the ones who wield their weapon wisely. Or the ones that use both.